Here is the Sitting Pretty Snowman, Snow Lady, and it comes with a stand that will attach on the back of the snowman when you're completely done, after you've varnished and glazed whatever you want to do with the back. Like you could use Galaxy varnish back there, but this goes on after that. So, and these pieces here layer. So I used a roller and put Snow White onto here and the back as well. And I think this is going to go here, attach it with a ribbon, hat band. So a bit of mistletoe and the cardinal or whatever you want to make it, and then the top snowflake. And this only goes one direction, so you have to wheel it around until you line it up. It looks like that's correct, because I think if you turn it, that it doesn't fit unless it's in one particular direction. Okay, so I see, originally I was thinking I didn't need to paint this white, but I do. So I should have rolled that as well in white. So now I'll have to brush it on, because I'll do this in some kind of brown. So, okay, I'm going to start with the carrot nose, because I've already pulled out some color. I have the canyon orange, I have bright orange, so I'm going to start with canyon orange. I know a lot of people like to use like burnt orange first as their first layer, and then lighten up as they go. But I tend to do my carrot noses a little lighter. So I'm using my sponge sticks because there's scoring in here, and I'm trying to protect some of it. I don't want it to all just disappear. So if you use a brush, that just brushes the paint directly into the score lines, and you just completely lose them. I mean, they'll still show up, but they won't have any of that brown char. So anytime I have score lines, I tend to use the sponges. And the sticks are good because you're kind of getting a consistent horizontal pressure, whereas if you use a regular sponge, your application may be inconsistent, and you end up getting some of the letters a little darker than you want, filled in, a little bit more filled in than you want.
In the hush of winter night, snowflakes dance in moonlit light. Pine trees whisper tales so old, joy and peace in hearts we hold. Gentle winds embrace the skies, every star.
Since this is such a small piece, you can try stippling on the lighter color of bright orange, or you can use the stick again and just kind of stipple it on, or you can do a color wash over the top. So I'm going to try a little bit of stippling and see how that looks. If you do regular, you can do regular dry brushing as well, and kind of like go down the center with a dry brush, or you can just try something like this and get a little variation of color.
Lemon pies, fireside echoes, one delight, love and laughter.
Okay, so I need a shading color, brown. So well, I can use burnt orange, or I can use a brown like an asphaltum. Okay, that's a light cinnamon. I'm gonna try that. So the light cinnamon, of course, has that touch of red in the brown, since the orange has got, you know, the red tone, the warm tones. That would be, anyway, it's one thing that will work. There's a lot of browns you can use. It just depends on what kind of tone you want. Or like I said, you could do a burnt orange. So we don't want to do shading on the top of the carrot, because that's where the brightness is. If you want, you can come back where the score lines are and just add a little bit of shading. It's very quick and easy to do, but not necessary, but you can if you want. Okay, so then I'm gonna float a highlight of the, what color was it? Bright orange across the top. And you certainly can come back with a little bit of white down the middle. Man, I keep getting stuff in here. Easy peasy, done. Okay, so if I use a little bit of a float of white, there. And that was pretty simple. Carrot is done. This snowman is actually pretty easy because there's a lot of white. So, speaking of which, I need white in the middle of the snowflake in the star pattern area. So, I don't need to come back and do this area because it's going to be covered up.
Shining bright, bells are ringing, feel the glow, magic in each flake of snow, memories in whispers told, winter's handed gift we hold.
I'm guessing that what would be really cool, I mean, you know, you can glitter the snowflake, but you could also have glitter coming through here. And if you decided to have glitter on top and bottom, you would just want them to be different glitter, significantly different. Like you could have a crystal light white glitter on the top and a silver glitter here. For instance, I just got in some shards, glass shards, silver glass shards. Yeah, these opals. So it's opalescent shards. Gosh, those are so pretty. Silver opal. Yum, yum, yum. I like that a lot. And then this is German glass glitter shards in silver, and they're a little chunkier. So you could put that in the middle like a mirror. I'll have to give that a try. And then I have these as well, silver glitz. And this is actually embossing powder. So that does something different. I feel like I need one more layer of white. Okay, so I have that winter blue, and I'm going to try that. So let me see if this. So that's just a really nice light hint of wintry blue. Oh, that makes an, oh, that's a really nice shading color for a snow person. I don't think I've ever used it before on snowmen. I'm also going to go all around these areas here, at least the bottom side, maybe not the top side, but I am going to shade around the bottom here. And I may come back and widen that shade as well. I'll go around once and then have a look at it and just come back and reinforce it. Definitely want to have a shade under the brim of the hat, so we'll do that as well.
In the hush of winter night, snowflakes dance in moonlit light, pine trees whisper tales so
you can always look to see where this goes, so you know where you're shading. So you can move it just a little bit. Because you don't want this really strong line to show. So I sometimes go slightly beyond where this piece goes, and then I'll come and I'll broaden that shade line down a little bit, and you can kind of guesstimate where the neck is. Okay, come back and shade underneath the twig arms. And it's just kind of haphazard. You don't have to, you literally are creating like a shadowy kind of look. So it doesn't have to be strong or uniform.
joy and peace in hearts we hold. Gentle winds embrace the skies, every star a glimmer prize. shining bright. Bells are ringing, feel the glow. Magic in each flake of snow. Memories in whispers told. Winter's handed gift we hold.
Yep, a little bit more. So there will be a ribbon or something around the neck area, since we have to hang the Let It Snow. Anyway, I thought about coming back and reinforcing the shade, but I kind of think it's pretty good. I see a couple of areas where it needs a little more, so I will revisit under the brim. Just bringing that a little lower. And I do need to still put in my neckline if I can figure out where I want my neck to be. So it's kind of from here. That's better. That's better. Yeah, I like that. And we probably need it just underneath the nose area. Gotta have a bit of the shade underneath the nose. We've lost some of the engraving due to the paint, but so we have to paint the hat. I don't know, I'm feeling purple. I don't know why, but I'm feeling purple, so that's what okay, just get them all out. Get them all out, have a look at them. Okay, and I then want a darker plum, which I have. It's just trying to find it. Okay, so that's very different than that. So that's purple iris. I'm going to try the purple iris. And this is a big enough piece, you know, that you can come back and do dry brushing. Sometimes if the pieces are really small, it's like, you know, much more difficult to dry brush. That's very translucent. Perhaps I didn't shake it well enough, or maybe too much water in my brush, but it has a very translucent feel to it. Yeah, that is super translucent. Purple iris. Interesting. I still thought I had like a gray plum or something. Purple iris is hat. And I'll come back and do something with the hat band. put it down, I end up getting paint everywhere. So I'm going to just hold this. I like the color, but wow, it's super translucent. Yeah, I really like the color. This would be interesting as a color on a flower because you could do some, with it being so translucent, you can do some interesting shading and color washes as you layer up colors. It would be really suited for that because of its translucent nature. I really like it has a lot of vibrancy. I guess purple iris, so it is actually supposed to be like based on the color of a flower, so yeah, definitely would work in some of your summer and springtime artwork. I love that color though. It's really pretty. Just requires a little bit of extra layers. Okay. So we don't want the hat band and the top part of the hat to be exactly the same. So we're going to do just some interesting things, stencils and color washes. So so like this poetic poem. Oh, I'm sorry, it's poetic plum. Duh. I'm going to use it as a color wash on the top part of the hat. I'm going to get another palette, or I'm going to turn it around. Maybe. Okay. So, create a little color wash. And my brush. Try that again. Okay. So then, on the hat band, I want to go with a lighter color wash. So I'm going to go with Purple Rain. So let's give that a try. Why did I put that much out? I don't need that. I wasn't thinking. I don't need that much. Okay, I'm going to take a paper towel, which has a pattern on it. Okay, do that again after this dries, just a little thicker. Okay. Take my paper towel, lay it on, pick it up, got a little bit of a pattern going on. Okay. I'm going to put another bit of this poetic plum on the top. I just want it to be a little stronger. Now they're going to look a little bit, they're going to look a lot more different in color tones. Yeah, they look a lot more different now. Although it's still pretty dark, I'm going to have to find a way to dry brush in a slightly lighter color, I think, because that is just a little bit too dark. Or I think, well, I could use a stencil back there with a lighter color. Let me find a stencil that I want to use. Okay, I am going to use this one stencil. It's actually supposed to look like a composition book. However, it might give the illusion of being like crushed velvet, which I don't know. I get a sense of this snow person wearing a crushed velvet hat. So I'm gonna do that at the top of the stencil. I have to figure out what color I want coming through. Okay, so this one is Frosted Plum. I think that might be the one. Yep, because the other one I was looking at is Wild Orchid. Nope, Frosted Plum it is. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of stencil work on the top of the hat, and we have this kind of faux texture that we created with the paper towel on the hat band. So now we're going to come with a bit of Frosted Plum. Let me make note of that. So just the top part of the hat. So go ahead and lay that down. See, I just think it kind of looks like crushed velvet in my very warped brain. So get my stencil brush.
In the hush of winter night, snowflakes dance in moonlit light. Pine trees whisper tales so old, joy and peace in hearts we hold. Gentle winds embrace the skies, every star a glimmer prize. magic in each flake of snow.
Kind of looks like crushed velvet. I don't know. So, one thing that helps, like if it's like, wow, that just looks like a bunch of little worms or something. You want it to look like crushed velvet. You have to come back with the color wash off on the top of it. So it could possibly go wrong. So I'm coming back with this color wash of the Poetic Plum, which we used earlier. Just coming back over because we want to send the stencil work back just a little bit. It's just too in your face. You want to give it the illusion that it is material and that it's not worms crawling on the poor snow lady's head. And you can do this more than once if you still think it's too brash. That's kind of cool. I'm going to go one more layer of the color wash. Very cool. I like it. So on the top of the hat band we need a little bit more lightness. I'm going to see if I can just use my, yeah, because this is a lighter color. I'm going to come back with a little bit of the frosted plum that I was just using. And it's already on my stencil brush, although there's not a lot. Maybe I need just a bit more. So I'm using my stencil brush as a dry brush because it's already dirty and it's a nice stiff bristled brush. Gosh, tongue twister. So there's no need to get a different kind of dry brush. This works the same. Okay. And we can do a swish of white as a float, and we need to put in a shade, and I'm trying to decide on this hat band if how dark of a shade that we want, because you can go lamp black, you can go soft black, or you can use a gray, so that's just kind of up to you. Plum, mulberry, poetic plum, lavender. Okay, there it is, purple iris. So I'm going to use a bit of purple iris and black. And I'm going to shade a bit with that. I'm starting to think, because I've gone purple here, the tones are not exactly the same. I'm almost like wanting to introduce a little bit of blue, like a periwinkle. I might try doing that. If I had worked out the hat color first, I probably would have gone periwinkle to start with, but I'm going to see if I add periwinkle to the winter blue, how that looks. Okay, so I want to get that up here for sure. there's that. Can take it along the bottom of the hat band as well. And again, I'm mixing black with the purple iris because I just thought black on its own was going to be a little bit too harsh, and that the purple iris, the iridescence of the purple iris will show through the black, so it will tie in these colors. Okay. All right, I kind of like that. I think it does kind of look like an old-fashioned Victorian crushed velvet hat. So there you go. That I'm sticking to it. That's what I'm saying. I think it kind of does. I love it. I just love it. Okay. So periwinkle is the wrong tone. So the other ones I was pulling out. That is purple petal. That's probably what we need. That one is wisteria, and I think purple petal. Now my palette paper really is starting to run out of room. So ideally, you would not be shading on top of the other color. How you would just start with purple petal. Although, that said, I often double shade because it creates interest. It just does, both colors kind of work together. So, I don't know. I do like the combination of the two colors together. I know a lot of people just do one color of shade or float, but I don't know, layering colors to me, it leads to some interesting effects. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah. Try not to put your snowman in the paint. That would be bad. I'd have to go and redo the back. Oh, that's dirty. I picked up something else. Try that again. I need to get another palette sheet, I think, is the bottom line. Yeah, I really like this. This is perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. It just matches everything else that we're doing. So when we grab our ribbon at the very end, of course, we want to make sure that it's got some of these tones in it. Oh, these colors are working nice together. So, and again, you know, this area here, you don't need to be overly heavy. It's understanding of shade and shadows and light play. So you're not trying to just make it, it can almost kind of have this watercolor effect to it. So having these two colors at play, the brain is trying to think, you know, what's going on? because it's almost like aurora lights, the northern lights. It has that kind of quality. You're looking at a prism of lights. Yeah, I like that. Sometimes happy accidents will result from when you realize, oh, I should have done something different. So sometimes you can create happy accidents that are better than if you had just, done the original thing. Sometimes you get better results when you make boo-boos. If I can, I always try to save my artwork if I've made some kind of boo-boo that I don't like. And I think, well, is it salvageable? Can I fix it? Can I make it different without just throwing it away, putting it in the trash can? Oops, gotta do under the nose. Don't want to leave that out. There we go. That's kind of cool. I kind of like it. Kind of like it. Okay. So, how's this starting to look? Very cool. It is kind of hard to see in this light. It looks, to my eye, it looks different than what I'm seeing on the camera. Yeah. So you definitely, so I guess the other thing you could do is instead of having that white below, you could do it, like if you wanted it to be black or whatever, like a silhouette underneath. But I think the silver glitter might work really good. Okay, this is just me thinking out loud. Alright. Oh yeah, we need a strip of white across the top. Alright, so a bit of white. And it can be a bit of a dry brush or it can be a float.
In the hush of winter night, snowflakes dance in moonlit light. Pine trees whisper tales so old, joy and peace in hearts we hold. Gentle winds embrace the skies, every star a glimmering prize. Fireside echoes one delight, love and laughter shining bright. Bells are ringing, feel the glow, magic in each flake of snow. Memories in whispers told, winter's handed gift we hold.
Put that aside. So let it snow. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. This is probably going to have to be more of a bluebird because the red is just not going to work with the tones that we've got going. Now, so let it snow. We've got to figure out what color we want to do that. So let's look at the colors that we've used. We used the purple iris. I like the plum color. Could even go, let me see, purple iris. I keep losing all my colors because I have so many that I pulled out. It's Purple Pizzazz. There it is. So we use Purple Iris, but then we use Poetic Plum. So we use those two colors already on the hat. So we could come with this Purple Pizzazz. That's awfully dark though, so I don't know how that's going to show. Or we could use the Purple Petal that we just used on the shading. That's going to be super light. We also have this Frosted Plum. I like that Frosted Plum. Okay, so let's try that. So Frosted Plum on the sign. Okay, so again, we're going to use our little pouncing stick, our little sponge sticky thing. So if you lose too much of your scoring, you can always come back with a fine marker or a rotary pen or something.
Magic in each flake of snow, memories in whispers told, winter's hand a gift we hold.
So if I did a bluebird with some purple tones in it, so there's twilight. I know a bluebird isn't exactly that kind of shade. Could go twilight and periwinkle. I always like to do cardinals, but there's no other kind of red in this piece, so I'm gonna do twilight, and then I'm gonna come back with periwinkle. We're gonna see if that works.
In the hush of winter night, snowflakes dance in moonlit light. Pine trees whisper tales so old, joy and peace in hearts we hold. Gentle winds embrace the skies, every star a glimmering prize. Fireside echoes one delight, love and laughter.
So that was twilight, which is very, very dark. So I think we'll do some dry brushing on top of that with periwinkle. We're just gonna make up the color of our bird. It's gonna be like no bird you've ever seen in real life. Completely made up color. Yeah, and again, sometimes, although I love dry brushing and you get a really cool effect from dry brushing, if you use it on some of these scored pieces, the dry brushing will just get into the crevices. Like I can see there's one area here in the W I've kind of lost because the paint's just kind of sunk into it. I mean, it's not bad, but I still would rather more of the score line show. So I don't always use dry brushing on these pieces. So what I do instead is I come back with a sponge and speckle on a lighter color, and then I can still shade with the darker colors. So okay, so I need to find a color, a lighter color that's going to work with this. So let me have a look in my collection and see what I can come up with. All right, I'm really coming up with obscure colors. So we're going to try this lilac meadow. We're just going to use it lightly, so I'm using the same sponge I was just using, but on the other side. Although it might be interesting to start with a mixed color, so sometimes you can take the color you were working on and you can kind of mix. Do that first before jumping to the really super light color. And if you want to come back with the lighter lilac meadow on the very top, you can. So it's just giving it kind of a speckly look. Just a little bit of interest instead of just being a flat color. And like I said, normally I would dry brush, but I don't want to lose my scoring. Dry brushing is a nice look, but I'm doing it this way just to protect my scoring. You could try dry brushing if you want. So now I need to find a shade color. Let's see. A shading color that's in the family. So Frosted Plum. I'm going to have a look again in my color collection. Okay, so Frosted Plum is shaded by plum. Okay, let me make a note of that. So they appear to be pretty much in the same family. All right. Perfect. Perfect shading color for Frosted Plum. Yeah, that's nice. Very nice. So, I think I actually would like to let it snow in white, but, I mean, you could certainly leave it dark too, and it shows up, but, I don't know. I have a thin a thin tip rotarine, and it's loaded with white. I might try doing that, although it works just fine that way too, you know, with the original engraving. Okay, so we are going to dry brush this little guy with periwinkle.
In the hush of winter night, snowflakes dance in moonlit light. Pine trees whisper tales so old, joy and peace in hearts we hold. Gentle winds embrace the skies, every star a glimmer prize. Fireside echoes one delight, love and laughter shining bright.
Cute. And since we've already used some oranges, I'm just going to use the bright orange for its beak instead of going and introducing another color. So and of course a black dot on the eye will need to be done. Need to do a little black dot. Alright, we were using periwinkle. Yeah, so you could put in a little wing if you so desired. Okay, and a little float of white. A little float of white. Okay, there you go. Very nice. So we are sticking to the color tones that are along this shade. So that means this would kind of be more like a laurel or a mint, or and these, if they're mistletoe, they should be white, but everyone always does berries red. But if it's mistletoe, they really should be white, but that wouldn't probably work as well. So let me grab a couple more colors. Berries were easy. That would be wild berry because it's got the kind of tones that we're using. So wild berry for the berries. Okay. And then brush on this bluegrass green. So I'm going with slightly different tones for this. Trying to get this harmony kind of color between the purples and the magentas and the plums. So this kind of green just seems to fit better with all these kind of purpley, plummy tones that we've got going on. One more coat onto the berries. Yeah, I like that. Alright, I'm going to put a bit of sea aqua dry brush it.
And feel the glow magic in each flake of snow. Memories in whispers told, winter's hand a gift we hold.
And now we need to do a bit of shading around this, so I'm going to come back with that Poetic Plum. Oh, that was a little bit wide. Don't want it that wide. Okay. Just need a touch. Okay. And we need a float of white. I think I need more shading there. So you can either float or line a bit of white. Oh yeah, we still have to paint our twig arms brown. So we probably want a brown that's got a little bit of grayness in it. And we could even go with that plum suede.
In the hush of winter night, snowflakes dance in moonlit light. Pine trees whisper tales so old, joy and peace in hearts we hold. Gentle winds embrace the skies, every star a glimmering prize. Fireside echoes one delight, love and laughter shining bright. Bells are ringing, feel the glow, magic in each flake of snow.
Yeah, I like that. It kind of keeps these tones all mixed together. So I am going to put in lines, I think, with black, just to make it look more twiggy. I really feel like I need to mix these two. So the Poetic, wait, what is it called? Plum suede and black. Which kind of turns out to be like a zinc or something, which is another option. Just get your zinc or your graphite or whatever. But as the colors were on my palette, it was like, why not? And you're just trying to create a little bit of streaks and bark. It's not a necessary thing, it's just if you want to do it thing.
Memories in whispers told. Winter's hand, a gift we hold.
So we're not really dealing with realism here, of course. They're just silly cutouts. So you really do not need to be perfect or logical with some of these little touches. That they're really just to help make your piece feel less flat. So like I'm not really thinking about my light source or anything. I'm trying to be a little consistent, you know, putting it on the same place area on both sides of the twigs, but I'm not really trying to be super fancy with that. It's just to give it a little bit more depth. Okay, so now let's see how this is shaping up. Whoops. I brought out so many of my paints, and of course I'm not using all of them, but I just pulled them out. And let's see how she's looking. Is she looking good? Looking good in the neighborhood. Yeah, I like that gray tone to the twigs. It really does match you know, you've got these complementary colors that feel right. So, and my bird that was going to be a cardinal is now a bluebird. Bluebird of paradise. So there's that. And there's the Let It Snow. I like her. She's in very different kind of colors, not your standard colors. I could see this going a little bit lighter. You know, I could dry brush more, but I'll have to visit it in the morning when I finish putting everything together, because I still need to work on the eyes and got to do some glitter or something down here. So I will have a final picture that will be attached to this video, so you can see what it looks like. But I definitely am going to do the silver shards down there. I think that'd be really pretty. So anyway, if you made it to the end of this video, congratulations. And thank you very much for watching. Here we go. So this laser piece I cut and have available in my shop. It's designed by Chris Howard of Sawdust Makery, and I cut a lot of her pieces, paint a lot of her pieces because they're so gorgeous. And like this stencil is also in my shop, teawife.com. So and like I said, the glitter glass shards are in my shop as well. So thank you very much for watching, and I will post final pictures of this with the video so you can see what in the world I did at the end to do the ribbon and some of the other extras. Thank you again. See you soon. This is Kathy McAllister of Teawife Creations. Bye-bye.
Feel the glow, magic in each flake of snow. Memories in whispers told. Winter's hand, a gift we hold.